Welcome to the Ports and Shipping News from Visakhapatnam. The Union government is veering around to the view that it should utilize Indian Port Global Limited own and run ports, secure overseas on government-to-government G2G base as New Delhi seeks to limit the political fallout of nominating a private firm to run such facilities in the backdrop of the recent developments surrounding the Adani Group. In 2021, the government nominated Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone APSCZ, the port unit of infrastructure conglomerate Indian partner, to construct and run the West Container Terminal in the strategically important Colombo port on G2G base. The terminal at Colombo was given to APSCZ by the government on a platter. It is a gold mine for the Indian container transshipment cargo. Together with the container transshipment port it is building at Vizhinjam in Kerala, APSCZ can play around with the two facilities. The Indian Port Global Limited is a unit of Sagarmala Development Company Limited, a government entity controlled by the Union Ministry of Port and Shipping and Waterways. It is tasked with developing and running the Chabha port in Iran. Many countries are ready to entrust India with the operations and management of their ports on G2G base, said the government official. East Africa, Indonesia, Sri Lanka are the radar of the government for ports operation due to the good diplomatic relations with these nations. These are discussions happening in Delhi. Now everybody wants India. We can get ports in East Africa, Indonesia, Sri Lanka at low rates, he said. Africa is the next growth story. India should utilize the India Port Global Vehicle to quickly move to African region and start operating and managing ports there. Even in the Sri Lanka and Indonesia, which have very good relations with India, we should work out some deals quickly, said the officials. Indian Port Global is currently running only at the port at Chabhar in Iran. The government should seriously think of giving more ports it gets overseas on government-to-government base to Indian Port Global for the operation. It is such a strategic sector. Instead of giving ports overseas to Indian private entities, the government should give them to Indian Port Global so that they remain under the control of the government of India. At the end of the day, if someone like Adani takes over, it is not the government of India, is stated. It can observe reference to the deal at Colombo port. And IPGL, the official said, should find port developers and operators, both Indian and global, who will invest in cargo terminals, but the port ownership will always be with the government of India. This model was being proposed in 2 to 3 ports projects overseas. IPGL will act as a landlord, but the cargo operations will be outsourced. The government of India should seriously think of that before China takes over everything. Given the multitude of the geopolitical issues surrounded by Chabha port, India should also try to get other ports through IPGL, he added. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority, the state-owned entity that runs India's second biggest container gateway near Mumbai, is also said to be keen on operating ports outside India. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority is building a new mega port at Vadavan in Maharashtra. It is a AAA rated entity with a zero leverage and hence has strong credibility to pursue port opportunities abroad on behalf of the government, the officials said. The planned Western Container Terminal (WCT) will fulfill India's long-standing aspirations for the presence in Colombo port, a regional transshipment hub through which a large portion of India's exports and import cargo containers are transshipped for strategic and security considerations, particularly due to China's involvement in Sri Lanka's maritime sector. Colombo port is the most preferable regional hub for transshipment of Indian cargoes, containers and mainland ships operators. Indian transshipment containers accounted for 45% or 2.5 million TEUs of Colombo total container transshipment volume of 5.6 million TEUs. Given this backdrop, it is difficult to fathom with the government-nominated Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone for the West Container Terminal project, the officials said. The Adani ports will hold 51% of the terminal that will be designed to handle 3.8 million TEUs a year in multiple phases over a 35 years contract. APSC JED and its two local Sri Lankan partners will invest some 650 million US dollars to build the terminal, and the first phase of the 1 million TEUs is expected to start operation in December this year. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.